Ich lot Tulalip. She's a little bit older than me, and our kids are staggered. Ziggy's her youngest. He's a year older than Aloe, who's my second to the youngest. So, could be. Gotcha. Okay, Altia slachel llu Tulalip chell ti dach Tulalip ti ich zeus bachos. Today we are going to read the book, Her First Basket. Hopefully through reviewing this book, we're going to notice the use of tub forms. We're going to notice a couple things. So I'm going to read through it, and then we're going to come back and we'll go through it again. Okay? Ti'ich zeh spachos. Her first basket. Al tudi tu hak. Tu asquadil si slashadai. Guadagwap al ti chapayats. Hue quiguasiayas. A long time ago, a little girl was sitting at the base of a cedar tree. She didn't have any friends. Tzutzab ti chapayats. Hluhoyu cho ti spacho. Utsu ti ich slashadai. Hue guads chawat. Tzutzab ti chapayats. Zeh. The cedar tree told her, "You are going to make a cedar root basket." The little girl said, "I don't know how." She was told by the cedar tree, "First, take my roots." Tu quadat tub utsi slashladai tist achshad. The little girl took the cedar's roots. Gwolhoyud, and she made her basket, and she made it. Tzutzab, hluquit of chofwayat alek. Now she was told, "Now go down to the river, and you dip up some water." Bulqua twalti chapayats. She returned to the cedar tree. Chol mitman tia quo alti spacho. There was just a little water remaining in the basket. Tzutz hue la tadsiayus bahoyalts. And the cedar tree said, "Your work is not tight enough. Do it over." Bahoyaltsaf baquitaf. She made it again. Again she went to the river. Huela ti'ich siayus. Her work was not tight enough. Bahoyaltsaf baquitaf. Again she made it. Again she went to the river. Hue balatak. Again it was not tight enough. Hoy bahoyaltsaf baquitaf. So she made it again and went to the river again. Bosasaf, the fourth time now. Butzutsaf, she was told again, "Uquit chafwayat alek." Go down to the river, dip up some water into your basket. Bulqua twaltia chapayats. She came back to the cedar tree. "Oh, diahat tadspacho." Oh, your basket is really good now. Hlu abalek chav twaltsi ichlot al tadaf aslashel. You will present it to the oldest lady at the place where you live. Daf hoy chach asista twaltia dia slachel. And that is why we still do this to this very day. That's the end. Okay, so let's go through this page by page, looking at the Lushootseed. Trying to figure out where I can get this for Brian to zoom in, make it look all special. Wait, wait. Brian's like, leave it alone, just hold it.
Well, I love your reading.
Lushootseed. All right, so we have Ti'ish Zelf. Zelf is first. Spachot is basket. What is that S at the end of spachot? What is spachot's? Hers, yep, her first basket. Ti'ish Zelf spachot's. And Lushootseed. Ta-da! So this one can stay here as we talk. All right. Ti'ish Zelf spachot's, her first basket. The S at the end of spachot's is for her. Her basket belongs to her. And al tudi tu hak, a long time ago, to us godil. To us godil. What do we notice about that one? To us godil. I'm going to let you know that there's a couple of different ways that people would say this, a couple of different ways that you would hear it. What word do we recognize in here? Godil, which means sit. When we have the us, what does that turn it into? It adds the action? ing, the active. Oh. So this is our ing for state of being or body position. So it changes it from sit, godil, sit, which could be a command, turns it from sit, sitting. But then we have this element being brought in. Since this is a story that took place al tudi tu hak, what are we saying? A long time ago, this lets us know that this action happened in the past. Al tudi tu hak, a long time ago, this person was sitting here long ago. This is a reminder. It's long ago. When we looked at our order of prefixes, we saw tu, we saw shlu, us, la, u. There are some occasions where you'll notice you can use them together. To us godil, Tula ebash. You hear that a lot in the stories. Tula ebash ti dokwibash. Dokwibash was walking long ago. So that too is that reminder that this is something happened a long time ago. Another way that you might hear us say this is sometimes when you have the to prefix with the us prefix, sometimes people say tas. So if you're listening to a traditional story and you hear one of the first speakers, they might say tu squadil or they might say ta squadil. So if you ever hear that, those are the types of things that I want you to think about. You know, just have that little light bulb like, oh, I hear guadil. I hear guadil in both of these. These both mean the same thing. Tu squadil or ta squadil.
And it means the same thing, is that what
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Some of them just chose to kind of blend this tu and us together to say tas. So this right here is equal to this right here. Tas squadil, tu squadil. Just like if somebody was saying that they were going to be sitting somewhere in the future, they could say llu squadil or sha squadil. And for context, why would we say something like this? Al qui o slachel hlas gwadil chad al qui hek swatiufted gwash tid ishid. Someday I will be sitting in land that belongs to my family. I'm manifesting that my kids are going to put their money together and they're going to buy a big plot of land so they can build their little family compounds on there. So that's a context for why we would say, I will be sitting. Some people might have the envision that they're going to be a tribal leader and they might say, One day, I'm going to be sitting up there with our tribal leaders. So it keeps the ing, the will be sitting, or a long time ago, she was sitting. She was sitting there. Does that make sense? Okay. Sometimes I don't know if I'm like over-explaining or if it's helping things make sense. Al tootie too hawk. To us guadil si slashladite. What is that part? To us guadil si slashladite. This is an intransitive verb, so that means whoever is named right after it is the actor. That's a big difference between Squadil T Pish Pish. In this, since this is an intransitive verb, this just means is sitting. Who is sitting? T Pish Pish. Whoever directly follows that is the one who's doing the sitting. Then we're still going to have T Pish Pish as what we're talking about. Us guadil T Pish Pish. The cat was sitting there. Whatever's directly named after that intransitive verb is the actor. Quadad T Pish Pish. What does this one say? Who picked up the cat? She picked up the cat. Yep. Now, because this is a transitive verb, whatever follows is the object. So that's one of the big differences that you'll notice. Intransitive verbs, whatever follows is the actor, the one doing that verb. Transitive verbs are the verbs that can take an object, and the object that is directly followed is what is having that verb done to it. So, Squadil T Pish Pish, the cat was sitting there. Quadad T Pish Pish, she picked up the cat. It's in both sentences, it's still ti pish pish. But based on this type of verb, that's where it changes from being the actor, the one doing the action, to the object, the one having the action done to them. Hopefully that helps. So, to us si slasladai. The young girl was sitting there. Now we're adding in that extra explanation. She wasn't just sitting there. She wasn't just, we're setting the scene. Guadagwap, alti chapayats. That guad also comes from that guadil, that lower. Guadagwap, beneath, at the base of the cedar tree. Hue quiguasiayas. Hue quiguasiayas. Our focus is on the young girl. We've already named her. So based on context, hue quiguasiayas, that S at the end, she didn't have any friends. There was not her having any friends. Hue quiguasiayas.
So why is there gua in front of it?
Huequigua. Those are the do not have formulas. I know we did that a while ago. Okay. Huequigua. When you have that huequigua formula, you're going to need a possessive. Huequiguads. Huequiguadtala. I don't have any money.
Okay.
Huequiguasiayets. She doesn't have any friends.
I think I thought gui meant please.
It does if you're using it in like
A positive form?
yeah,
instead of the
asking
negative?
somebody like gua beats, can you hand that to me? Gua guadil, please sit down. It's a very like respectful gua when used in kind of like commands to make it less of a like do this to like, can you please? Gua. So we joke around and sometimes if we ask for something, we'll say gua, even though it doesn't stand alone. So, good question though. I want to make sure that you guys feel good about what we're reviewing, because we've kind of, we've kind of been on a crash course. Okay, next page. This should be kind of fresh. I am not graceful with this. Sorry, Brian. As he tries to zoom in. Okay. Tsutsab ati chapayats. Tsutsab ati chapayats. Utsu means that's the intransitive. That's if somebody says something. Tsuts, say something to someone. Tsutsab ati chapayats. If we have that ati chapayats, that's our light bulb that the cedar tree is doing something right here. In the English translation, the Good English translation, it says the cedar tree told her. We could also say she was told by the cedar tree. When I was first learning the tub forms, I associated ati with by. Something was done to somebody by this person, because we're naming this third person. So in the beginning, when I was learning, I would use the very literal, like, she was told by the cedar tree. The cedar tree told her, Shluhoyud choh tispacho. Shluhoyud choh tispacho. What are some discoveries in that sentence? Will, yep. You. So you are going to do something. Hoyud. Hoyud is to make something. Luhoyudcho, you will make Tispacho, a cedar root basket. The tsutsub in the top line is to tell someone something. And I had mentioned that the intransitive just to say something is utsu. So our third line, utsutsiich slashladite. Utsutsiich slashladite. So now she becomes the actor. Because the young girl said. So those would be good things to kind of make note of, is when we see that utti or the suit, we call them the tub forms, tub, sub, doob, tube. There's a bunch of different endings for that. Noticing those. So tsutsabati, she was told by the cedar tree, utsutsi ich slashladite, the young girl said, because that utsu part is not transitive. And what did the young girl say? Does anybody want to try to read that one? Take a healthy risk.
Kui Gwods Chawat.
Yeah. Chawat. Eh? Hui kui gwods chawat. Hui kui gwods chawat. So what do we notice right off the bat? What type of a sentence is this? A negative sentence, because we see the hui. Hui kui gwods chawat. So it's a negative sentence. What else do you notice in there? Gwud. Yep. So in her quotation, she's saying, there is not my, and chawat means to know how to do something or learn how to do something. Hui kui gwad's chawat, there is not my knowing how to do this. I don't know how. I don't know how is the good English. But I still want you to make those connections with those literal. There is not my knowing how to do this. I don't know how. Then we bring it back and we repeat. Tsutsabati. Notice in the English, it's used both ways. The first one, the cedar tree told her. The second translation, she was told by the cedar tree. In Lushootseed, it looks exactly the same. In the English, that goes to show that you can kind of choose how you want to say that. Some of that reminds me of how the elders would speak and how they were very repetitive. So some of the patterns of speech were very poetic, the way that they would speak. We have different things called circular figures or pattern episodes that come up in stories. And it's a very beautiful and poetic way of speaking. And I think about how some of our elders were looked down upon, the first speakers, because people would say, oh, they're just saying the same thing over and over. But really, that's the style of speech that they had, that very poetic speech of circular figures. You bring something up, and I know that we naturally do this. Once we go over circular figures, you'll recognize that you naturally talk about things in a circular form, where you have your topic and you explain it, and then you get to your core of what you're trying to say, and then you kind of go back around to what you were saying in the beginning. And there's different ways that we kind of carry that speech forward, even though we're not first speakers. It's just kind of what we naturally heard from the people in our lives. So for this one, in the English, she was told by the cedar tree. Zelf, just like in Ti'il Zelf Spachotes, her first basket. Now it is Zelf first. Llw quadad chow tidst achshad. Llw quadad chow tidst achshad. What do we notice about that sentence?
The D for my.
My. Mm-hmm.
Can do quadad.
Llw quadad. And we were practicing quadad. So Zelf first. Llw quadad chow. It could just be llw quadad chow first. You will pick it up. Well, what are you going to pick up? Tidst achshad. My roots. Llw quadad chow tidst achshad. Now, we had that context. We had the context of what she was being told to do. So, does anybody want to try that top line? What happened?
Oh, I was saying that I need to get me one of those.
These?
Yeah.
Two quadad tub Etsy.
Mm-hmm. Tu quadratab utsi. Do you want to keep going?
Sladai
Achshad.
Hoychad. Gwal hoyad. Gwel hoyad.
Hey. Tu quadratab utsi slashadai. That part all by itself. Tu quadratab utsi slashadai. It was picked up by the young girl. Tist achshad. The roots. Tu quadratab utsi slashadai. It was picked up by the young girl. Tist achshad. The roots. Or in good English, the little girl took the roots. Gwal hoyud. And she made her basket and she made it. So the repetition of gwal hoyud is like letting you know that
She made it.
it's taken a lot of work. Gwal hoyud. She didn't just bust out the basket right there. She really had to put some work into it. Gwal hoyud. This is where I would run into issues when it came to tub forms. Tzutzub, what's unique about this one? Tzutzub, she was told. She was told. For that, we have to have the context of her being, she was previously told by the cedar tree to pick up the roots and to make a basket. And now she was told. Hlukwit af chohwa yat alek. Hlukwit af chohwa yat alek. What do we notice with that one?
The Q was in there.
Yep, hlu. So she's being told she will do something. Wheat Hlukwit means to go down to the water. And I don't think we talked much about the now. A good way to show so using the word guadil. Guadil means sit. I'm going to write a couple guadils. We'll stick to these ones. So guadil is sit. We know that that's sit. We just talked about guadil, please sit. So if you're wanting to be polite about it, guadil. We also have this, which means now. Can be added to a verb that you're asking somebody to do now.
Sit now.
It can also, in traditional stories, it can come up to let you know what was happening now, what shifted in the story. You'll see that. So guadil is just sit, guadil. So if I was going into a class, I could just say, guadil, sit down. And a lot of kids, they know guadil, so they know that command. There might be some settings where you just want to add that level of politeness. Guadil, please sit down. Sometimes when things are getting crazy and hectic and out of control, you have to say guadil, and that's that extra, almost, it can be used in a stern manner, which is like, sit now, sit now. You could also add both of them. You could say guadil, please sit down now. So this adds the now. Hlukwit chofwayat alek. That is the now will go down. Who's going down? Who's being told to go down to the water? You, chof, in the quotations, you, hlukwit chof, you will go down to the river now. Chofwa. Did we go over chofwa?
I think we touched on it.
Little bit. Do you guys remember that one? Oh, was that introductions?
I think so.
Chad chada.
Yeah.
Chad chada. Stohobs chad chada. Stokwalbiu. So that was I am Snohomish and I am Snoqualmie. So chuff chofwa. You will do this and you will do this. Hlukwit of chuff chofwa yat alek. You will go down to the river now and you will dip up some water. So there's that little review of chuff chofwa, chad chada. Yat alek. Yat alek is to dip up water. Saksuadal, soyat buf, soyat buf. I can't remember how it is, the dipping people. The people that dip. The dip river people. It's something. I should know because those are my ancestors. Okay, we're gonna see this now. Bolqua. Bolqua. Bolq means return. It's just like saying bolq, return now. But just like other variances, like the to us, tas, bolqua, return now. Bolqua, she returned now. Twalti chapayats. Towards the cedar tree. Bolqua twalti chapayats. She returned now to the cedar tree. Chol, not to be confused with chol. Chol means just. Chol mitman, just a little bit. Chol mitman, tia chol. Just a little bit of water, altis bachot, in the basket. There was just a little bit of water remaining in the basket. Tzutz, the cedar tree said, Huela tad siayus. We did a lot of the huequigua examples, like I don't have this, you don't have that, we don't have something. We touched a little bit on the huela, it isn't. So huela tak, it is not tight enough. Tad siayus, your work. Your work isn't tight enough. Huela tak, it is not tight enough. Huela tak, tad siayus. Bahoyalts. Bahoyalts. That ba is the again prefix that we saw in the order of prefixes. Bahoyalts. Do it over again. And that hoy comes from hoyud. Bahoyalts. This next one is nice and repetitive. These pictures were done by Michelle. All too hawk, a long time ago, before we had a color printer. She did this with paper.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then the graphics team helped kind of do this mock-up. Okay, bahoyaltsa. She made it again now. Baquita. And she went down to the water. Quit, go down to the shore. Go down to the water. So we have these ba. We also have the on both of those. Bahoyaltsa, baquita. She made it again now. Again, she went down to the water now. So this is what we see in a lot of those traditional stories. That is letting us know this is happening now and this is happening now. It's kind of giving us this series of actions. Huela ta ti'il siayus. Huela ta ti'il siayus. Why do we have two S's there? Mm-hmm. Her work. Huela tak ti'il siayus. Her work isn't tight enough. Bahoyaltsaf baquita. Again she made it. Again she went to the river. Hue balatak. Hue balatak. Again, her work was not tight enough. Or again, it was not tight enough. Hoi bahoyaltsa baquita. So she made it again, and she went to the river again. So this series, we see a lot of the ba and a lot of the and that's letting us know, okay, we've done this the second time and the third time, and now we're going into the fourth time. Bos Bos al Jo Sali Liu Bos. Bosal means 4 times. Bosal. Bosal. On the 4th time now, Batsutsub, again, we have that ba, again, she was told, Ukwit chaf chafwa yak alek. Again, go down to the river. You will go down to the river and you will dip up some water. Here's that bulk, return. Bulkwa, bulkwa. She returned now, twaltia chapayats, to the cedar tree. O dayahat tad spachot. O dayahat tad spachot. Die hot, really good, really good. But we add in that oh, now it's really good. Tad spacho, your basket. O die hot, tad spacho. Abalek is like a giveaway. So you're not just giving something to somebody, it's a giveaway, it's a gift. So I'm not just handing you something, I'm gifting you with it. Hlu abalek cho, you will give it to, or you will present it to. Twaltsi ich lot, to the oldest, and that C lets us know that it's a female. To the female oldest, al tada aslachel. That ad is your. Duh. We kind of talked about that when we did the order of prefixes. Place where means by which, reason why. So at the place where you live. Dahoichach, that is the means by which we do things. Assista, this way. Twaltia dia slachel, to this very day. In a lot of the traditional stories, not a lot of them, in some of the traditional stories, you'll hear twaltia dia slachel, to this very day. These are the things that happen to this very day. This is why you see the deer have the little bones stuck in their legs to this very day. So twaltia dia slachel, you'll hear that in some traditional stories. Hey. All right, I took up 6 extra minutes of your guys' time. Uhoyachach, we're done, Brian.